You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water. From Fiji right to your front door from FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com. And for those of you who use the QR code and the link that are provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank everyone and all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is going to change. I announced on yesterday. We've heard you. You asked for it. You got it. We're going to be expanding our broadcast to a 1-hour broadcast. I will be announcing the date very soon, but I'm just getting you prepared right now by letting you know that we are going to be expanding 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, it's going to be from 12 p.m. noon until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Monday through Friday. So for all of you for these several years that have been asking that we go to a 1-hour broadcast, we are now going to, I have 1 year on my mind because we've celebrated a 1-year anniversary of WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio, our internet radio station at WKAPfaith.com. But my focus right now is on the fact that we're going to be meeting your request. I won't call them demands because you all have been very kind about it. And over the last several years, you've been asking that we go to a 1-hour broadcast. So we're going to be doing that. You ask for that, you get it. Right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. We will be on the air from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And for all of you, after I announced yesterday, who might have been concerned about BeccaTheDietitian.com not being with us on First Thursdays anymore, that's not the case. Becca will continue to be with us, scheduling permitted. She will be with us every first Thursday she will join in on the broadcast at 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Prior to that, on that day, every month on that day, we will discuss health and wellness. We will respond to some of your questions about health and wellness. We will respond to some of your questions about nutrition by directing you to comments that Becca has shared on her website at BeccaTheDietitian.com. And we will look forward to Becca joining us at 12:30 p.m. or at her earliest convenience to jump right in and share with our listeners and viewers, and we will be on the air. Very soon we will be making the announcement what date that will be, because we're going through the preparation of production for that right now to determine when we'll be able to launch. But however, stay tuned because great things are happening, and we will be with you for 1 hour now at your request. So make sure you tune in and listen throughout your lunch. You know, just as you've done for 30 minutes, well, now you'll be able to do that for an hour because that's what you requested. So we're excited about being with you for 1 hour every day, Monday through Friday, from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. From 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, I also shared, so I'm just going to share this. We're still in the midst of our FijiWater.com sponsored promo, where one of our listeners and viewers for the month of April will receive, not for the entire month, but you will receive 1 case of Fiji water, and this is for our U.S. listeners and viewers, 1 case of Fiji water at FijiWater.com. So, in order to do that, you have to go to WKAPfaith.com, because every entry gives you the opportunity, more opportunity for you to be selected. The first 3 songs you hear at 12 p.m. daily or 6 p.m. daily, list those songs. Text them along with your name and email address, as you've been doing. Text them along with your name and email address to the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will have one of our listeners and viewers will be selected. We will ship to you a case of Fiji water from FijiWater.com. Remember, right now from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m., 12 p.m. or 6 p.m., you will have the opportunity to listen to the first 3 songs that are played starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. List those songs along with your name and your email address and text them to the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. And so, having said that, I'm excited about the fact that we are celebrating 1 year of our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com. 1 year. We've been live on the air at WKAPfaith.com. So we are celebrating the fact that we have been playing music for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Music that would encourage you, empower you, and inspire you at WKAPfaith.com. So thank you for being tuned in. We've got a great listening audience right now. We want it to continue, so just continue to encourage your family, friends, coworkers, colleagues to tune in at WKAPfaith.com. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are in your age group of 25 to 35 of women. You said you have women friends in that age group who have been listeners and viewers for quite some time. That's what you said. So we've gotten a lot of this, and I'm going to share this with you because as I was praying over this communication and just thinking about how long we've been doing this now, and I have to tell you, for quite some time, women in their 25 to 35 range have been communicating and saying how difficult it is to date and have meaningful relationships. And here's a news flash for you. I get the same communications from women in their 35 to 45 years of age. And I'm going to talk about the men in the moment who are in that age group also, but here's the reality. You say that it's difficult to date and have meaningful relationships. From 25 to 35, you got to realize it doesn't get any better from 35 to 45. And the reason that I know this is because we get a lot of communications about this. So here's the reality. What's been happening in our culture is that you have women 25 to 35 who have been watching women who are 35 to 45 struggle with dating, and you're developing the same dating habits that they're developing or that they have developed, and you're using those same dating habits. They're not working for them. Why would they work for you? The problem is that we haven't had a lot of good examples, and I'm going to break this down because I know people will say to me, Pastor, that's a little different because, you and your wife you're a pastor, your wife's a leader in the church, you both are operating the house of God, and, but that's not the reason. We have couples in our church that I have just, if you go back and and well, you won't hear it because I did it prior to us going live, but there are couples in our church that have been married for 3 decades who are not pastors. They're not pastors' wives. They are people, career people who are married and have families, who have been married for decades, over 3 decades, 3.5 decades, almost 4. Almost 4 decades. We even have one couple who are the senior couple of the church that have not been able to, due to health, have not been able to return to the sanctuary since COVID. However, they literally have been married for 60 years. 60, I might be a little off on this, but I know they've been married for at least 60 years. So those are the examples, but I'm going to take you to the modern day. So I mentioned we have a couple of couples in our, a couple of married couples in our church who have been married for 35 years. And instead of having conversations with people like them, you're having conversations with your peers, you're having conversations with other women, single women in their 35 to 45 who are having the same challenges you're having. And it's not getting better for any of you. And the reason is because we've been dating the same way for so long that we think it's the right way to do it. And I shared a revelation I received from God long ago. And when I say long ago, it's been since the broadcast. And God revealed this to me. And it might have been right before the broadcast. I don't know, before we even went on the air. But it hasn't been, forever. And I started sharing it with a lot of men. And now I'm going to get to the men. The men that you are dating, it's not that they don't want to be, let me rephrase that. The good men, because there's been some that, there's always some weeds in the grass. But the good men that you've been dating, and then the relationships came to an end, it's because we don't really know how to have good, healthy relationships, and we talk to other people about our relationships who don't know how to have good, healthy relationships. I mean, when I say that, we've got friends that have been married, 25 years, 20 years. We've got in all age groups. But I'm just telling you, I just announced and we celebrated a couple of couples in our church, and when we celebrate them, we applaud the Lord for what He's done in their lives. But they've been married for a few decades, and the reason is because we're not chasing the world; we're chasing the Word of God. What that means is learning how to make commitment. It means learning how to really, and I'm not implying any of us are perfect. What I'm saying to you is there's a better way to do this. And at 25 to 35, you haven't really found that way yet. And you really haven't been searching for that way because you've just been dating like society has taught us to date. So I hear from men also who say that they can't find a good woman. They date, but they can't find a good woman. And these are young men in their, that same age group, the 2 age groups that I just mentioned to you, the 2 demographics, 25 to 35 and then 35 to 45. And the reality is they're saying, a lot of things about women. And one of the things that they're saying is women aren't serious about relationships. Now, I thought that was really interesting when I started, the first time I heard it, but then I heard it more than once. It was repeated, and then it was repeated again and again and again. And what they're saying is, women just want to hang out. They just want to, you all think that that's what men want to do, but that's not what they want to do. Now, there's exceptions to every rule, But they say they're looking for someone that they can wife. They're not looking for someone that they can just hang out with. They're not looking for, the next party. They're not looking for a good time. They're having a good time because you all are having a good time, or so you perceive it that way. But they're looking for someone that they can settle down, marry, and hopefully have a family. That's the goal for good men. Now you got men that just want to be out there, and if that's the life that everyone wants to live, fine, until you become 50 and then it's not so fabulous. We always joked when we turned 50 we wanted to be fabulous. When we're 60 we want to be sensational. It's that's the goal. The goal is to keep maturing and keep progressing. So you've got to say to yourself, okay, if this is the problem, that if dating and forming a relationship is a problem, maybe it's not men. The problem is it's the men you're choosing instead of allowing the man to choose you. And so I want to encourage you to say this. Stop talking to your peers. Have some conversations with some married women. And I'm not talking about women who have just been married, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years. That's a short-term plan. I'm talking about women who have been married for some time. They've got some time in this. They've got some sweat equity into this. They've got some real equity in their marriage. Because they'll give you the real deal. They'll tell you marriage is, like all of us, is not perfect. But marriage is a commitment before God and man that says, unless there are extenuating circumstances, like abuse, like destruction of the family unit, you've got to continue building a great quality of life, and you've got to do that together. You've got to recognize the importance of doing this the right way. So, at the end of the day, listen, you got to make yourself available. But when men ask you out, you gotta ask questions. If you see someone you're interested in, make yourself available to them. But then you gotta ask some questions. What's your relationship with the Lord? And if someone asks you out, I need you to take me to your church and out to lunch. See, that's tough for a lot of women. Because you're used to being out on Saturday night. It's hard to get up on Sunday morning. Well, guess what? If you want a stable relationship, you need a man of God. And men, you need a virtuous woman. You need as one of the women in our church calls them, a noble woman. You need someone who's got their head screwed on correctly, male or female. If you're female, male. If you're male, female. You've got to. And when I say that, I mean they've been created by God in His image, in His likeness. They've been beautifully and wonderfully made, and God has them in their right mind, in the right state of mind, not the enemy, but God. So this is real important, and I'm addressing women and men. You've got to stop, and I know I'm taking up a lot of time with this today, but I got a lot of communications about people struggling with dating right now. In both those age groups, in both those segments of age groups, 25 to 35 and 35 to 45. It's not working for one, it's not working for the other. So it's not going to get any better. For those of you that are 25 to 35, we got to start doing something different. If you're doing the same things, getting the same results, and you don't make any change, that's when it becomes insanity. So you know that you're not getting the results you want. So that means you got to change some things up. So once again, let's live in the revelation of God, which is men who ask you out. This is for our listener and viewer. Don't try to get them to take you to the 5-star restaurant to date you. Don't try to get them to take you to a sporting event. Don't try to get them to take you to, some place for entertainment, the movies, all those. That's not important. First things first. Have them take you to their church and out to lunch or brunch. That's 3 times, 3 Sundays in a row, because you're going to find out if they're consistent. You're going to find out if they've got some consistency. You'll find out where their head is. I get it if they've got to travel on business, and they're traveling back on the weekends, that's something different, but that's not, if they can't be in church on Sunday, then they can either watch it with you online on Sunday and then return and take you out to lunch, or they can go with you to Bible study during the week. But there's got to be some relationship with the Lord in order for them to be able to establish a relationship with you. If they cannot have a relationship with God, they cannot have a relationship with the Lord, they're not going to be able to establish a successful relationship with you. That's just the bottom line. And that's what's wrong with our society today. People don't have a relationship with the Lord, but they want to have a relationship with one another. Not going to work. How's that working for us? Hasn't worked out so well thus far. So we've got to do something different, and we've got to be better than this. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. The T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. And this segment has been brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. If you are in the market for a high-performance automobile, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. You will virtually have the opportunity to build out the Porsche you desire to own. And if you're in our area, just go to PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Didio, General Manager of PorscheDelaware.com. He will make certain that someone assists you in selecting the Porsche you desire to own. And if you currently own a Porsche and are just in need of service, go to PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, who is the service manager at PorscheDelaware.com. He will make certain that someone schedules an appointment for you, that they pick up your vehicle at your home or office and drop a loaner vehicle to you until your vehicle has been serviced, and return your vehicle when your service has been completed at PorscheDelaware.com. So I received a communication from someone, and I really want to get into this today. My only concern is that I'm not going to have enough time to finish this communication. So I will begin to address this today, and if I do not complete it, I will complete it tomorrow. Because I thought this one was really interesting. You said you are currently a franchise business owner, and you said you initially worked for your parents. And now you have your own location. So your parents are franchise owners. You are now a franchise owner, to God be the glory. And you said you want someone who wants to work with you in the business like your parents worked together, because you want to continue what your parents have begun. So I'm a big legacy guy. So I said to God be the glory. I will say to God be the glory again. But I get it. You know, you're already working in the business, you want someone who is going to be able to fit in with your family environment also, even though your communication, you only said you want someone that works with you in the business, but you also want someone that fits within your family environment. So listen, it's fine, and this is going to help you to really begin this process. You don't have to start dating someone who's going to come into the business right away. Pardon me. Let them work. Watch this. If they're willing to work in their current career right now and then come after hours and work with you, that's going to tell you all you need to know. If they're going to get up every day and go to their current career and work in their current career and then come, after the business hours and put in hours at your franchise to help you grow your franchise and be involved in the business with you, they're going to fit in with your family philosophy. They're going to fit in with the family environment. They're going to fit in with what you are going to do moving forward. Pardon me, but to God be the glory, because you're following the pattern that your parents have already established. This kind of leads back to what I was saying to the young lady who sent in the communication earlier about relationships. You want someone that's going to fit in with the family philosophy. You want someone who's going to fit in with what you've already begun. At the same time, they've already established their own career, but they're working. When they're done with their business day, listen, they can come and help you. Help you move that business forward. Help you move that franchise forward. Whatever they bring to the table, let them bring that to the table to assist in what you're already doing. Because they may already have and will already have an entrepreneurial spirit, but they've been working in their career. Now, you've already done something that your parents have taught you to do, and that is to be a franchise owner. You've seen the benefits. You understand what it takes to be a franchise owner. But now if they're willing to work with you part-time every day and then on the weekends, oh yeah, that's the right person for the environment. They don't have to quit their job and work in the franchise full-time. But if they're willing to work part-time in the evenings and on weekends, yeah, you've got the right person. So that's all you need, is someone that you can really engage in that way. Not someone who's going to take your energy away from the franchise, not someone who's going to be disruptive in your business because they don't like what you've already accomplished because they're in competition. You don't need that. You are correct, and this is very powerful. And I really wish I had more time on this today, because this is really important that you continue right on the path that your parents have already started and that you've now launched out on your own. And to God be the glory. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Or you can order from them at ctshirts.com, and the White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York.